Welcome back to another video. If you are new here, all we talk about on this channel is how to scale high-ticket info product and consulting offers. If you are already a subscriber, welcome back. In this video, we are going to take a look at our bulletproof webinar funnel framework. We've ran this again and again and again and again, and it just keeps crushing it. And we've perfected this setup to maximize ROI on your webinars. So first of all, let us start with the frequency. We generally recommend every single high ticket offer to run 3 different funnels all at the same time. So that's always an evergreen VSL funnel where you just send people to a VSL and generate sales calls. That's always going to run. Then we recommend having a webinar once a month. And then we recommend having a challenge, a 3-day challenge once a quarter. So when you set that system up and you do this every single month, every single quarter, and you run the evergreen VSL funnel, that's what we've seen maximize revenue. However, some offers do need a little bit more nurturing and a little bit more selling before you can pitch anything. So some offers actually don't run a VSL funnel and only run webinars. And when you have that set up, I recommend that you do the webinars once a week and remove the replay sequence. Now, there's also a few different variations of a webinar. You can either do direct checkout. You can also do call to action, being booking a call. For 90% of cases, we always run booking a call because the sales team will be able to convert the calls better than a direct checkout would. Also, a direct checkout doesn't really work unless, or it doesn't really work when you sell something that's above, $5,000 is usually where we see the cutoff being. But it's much harder to do doing a direct checkout for high ticket compared to booking a call. That's why we 90% of the time run everything to a call. However, on a challenge, it's a little bit different. You can run, direct checkout for high ticket offers. So with that being said, let's just jump right into it. Let's just say we're running in this webinar once every month. You have a registration page. When someone registers, they get a registration text and an email immediately. They're also added into our propaganda custom audience. So what we run with all our high ticket offers is that we run a campaign that contains 30 to 50 different pieces of organic nurturing content, that gives value, shows social proofs, handles objections, and frames the prospects before the webinar even happens. We also do this with call funnels. We also do this with challenge funnels. Essentially, what we want to do is have every single person who registers see 30 to 50 different pieces of our content before they even jump on the webinar. The show-up rate will be higher and the closing rate will be higher, okay? And we do this by adding them to a custom audience, and then we have a campaign, and then we have one ad set per ad in that campaign. By the way, I'm covering this strategy in another video. You can feel free to check it out on my channel. And then we have all the ad sets targeting this custom audience that we put everyone into. You need at least 100 people in it for the campaign to spend. And then we add a 3-second exclusion in each of the ad sets for the ad inside of that ad set, so they only see. When they've seen 3 seconds of an ad inside a unique ad set, they're pushed to the next one. So this way we're able to push them through so many different pieces of content. I also recommend having VIP tickets for webinar. That way you can liquidate the ad spend. Let's say you're having a VIP ticket for $27 or $37 or $47, where they can get the replay, they can get some extra bonuses, which will make you be able to spend more on the front end because you're liquidating so much of the ad spend. Recently, we did a webinar. We did about $2,500 in spend for the webinar, and we had about $11,000 in just VIP ticket sales. So we actually had a 4x ROAS on the front end. This was a real estate offer, a 7K offer. And then you can pour all that money back into advertising. This was a pretty low spend webinar to test out a new framework that we had created, or some new slides, a new presentation. So it was extremely low spend. I think we had just over 1,500 people in there. By the way, if you're running challenge funnels, the ticket system is a little bit different. Then we recommend actually spending or actually charging for the general admission as well, having two different prices and then increasing the price as you get closer to the webinar. These challenges always also have a way longer promotional cycle before the webinar even takes place. Or before the challenge even takes place. With a webinar, we usually have free admission and then VIP tickets. And we usually market this about 2 weeks before the webinar takes place. Okay. Then we have the confirmation page. You should have a video on the confirmation page. You should also have, what we recommend most offers to do is have some kind of free community that they can join, where we also will be sending them updates, bonuses, or just free stuff and reminders for the webinar. And also we recommend using a software called addevent.com, where people can click a link and they can add the event into their calendar of choice, whether that's Apple Calendar, Google Calendar, Yahoo, whatever you want to use, so that they will get native reminders from their calendar on their devices for the webinar itself. And then we have a reminder sequence. You should have a few more here. These are just the reminders where you should text or both text them and email them. But obviously, if you're starting ads 2 weeks before the webinar, you want your people to hear from you more than just 3 days before. So you want, and every other day you have another email, or every day you have an email coming in, and then 3 days before, then the reminder texts starts going off. Then for the webinar time itself, we recommend either doing Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. If you're based in the US, the reason we do this is because we want people who are on Pacific time. That will be then 5 o'clock p.m. We want to capture those people on the West Coast after work as well. These 3 days, we've seen the highest show-up rate. So just replicate it. We've already tested it. Obviously, feel free to test it for yourself as well. And when it comes to the call to action, you do the pre-framing, you do the offer stack, you handle objections, you show testimonial, and then you pitch an application, which will lead to a sales call. So we use Typeform, and then depending on their answers in the applications, we send them to 3 different calendars where they can book. So the calendar is going to be the last step in the application. That's what's so great about having or using Typeform, because you can natively put a Calendly event inside the last step of the application, where the input fields for the Calendly booking will already be pre-filled with their answers from the webinar. So they give us their name, they give us their email address, and they give us the phone number in the application. So when they get to the Calendly widget, they can just press book with one click, because the fields are already refilled. So we do filter with 3 different calendars based on their financial qualification. So the first calendar, they're able to book the first 3 days. The second calendar, they're able to book the next 3 days. And the third calendar, they're able to book, the 6 to 9 days after the webinar. And the people with the most money are able to book in calendar 1. Then the people with, the second most money are able to book in calendar 2, and so forth. This makes sure that the most qualified people are on the phone with us and on the call with us first, which will increase the closing rate, because the more time that goes after the webinar, the lower your closing rate and your show-up rate is going to be. That's why we have the propaganda audience spending actually over a week after the webinar happens. So they will still see our organic content even after the webinar, before their sales calls. You can also do the propaganda audience, between the webinar. So trigger it when people book the call, and then having them taken out of the audience when the call happens. So this is a framework that has worked extremely well for us. And then obviously, in addition to these self-books, we also have the sales team, the appointment setter, call every single application that quit the application before they book themselves in, because we have a partial submit point. So even though they don't finish the application and book themselves into a sales call, we still capture their information, and the appointment setters will call them after they have called and confirmed and qualified all the self books. Okay, so if you're running this every week, like I said earlier, remove the replay. But what we do when we run this once a month, we have a replay available for the first 72 hours. And we have two different segments here of people. One for the people that didn't show up and who left before the call to action, and then for the people that saw the call to action but didn't schedule a call or didn't buy. So for the people that no-showed or left before the CTA, they are put through a replay sequence where we, when they click the link for the replay, we actually embed the video of the webinar on a web page, and we use Wistia for video hosting, and we have chapters for all of the sections in the webinar itself, and then below we just have a Typeform embed for the application, and we just push everyone through there. If they, don't book a call or apply, they are automatically invited to the next webinar, which will be in a month. But if they purchase, they're put through the onboarding sequence. And then here, kind of a different thing with the people that saw the call to action but didn't go through. We send them through an apply and book email sequence where they can apply, because if they've seen the pitch, we also send them the recording right after. If we have VIP tickets where we offer the recording, we might just either remove the replay here, or we just give them the replay as well for all the people that saw the call to action, in addition to the VIP tickets. And then we send, just social proof. We send the offer stack again. We send some testimonials, maybe a YouTube video, because some people just need a little bit more information. They just need a little bit more convincing before they're actually ready to apply and book a call. And if they don't go through this, we just send them through a nurture sequence where they get updates on, all our new YouTube videos, where they will see the new interviews, where they will just get value over an extended period of time after they didn't make a purchase. And we actually see a lot of these people coming back, 3 months later, 6 months later from this nurture sequence and actually converting at a later date, which some people just need more time, like I said. Then we also run a Q&A session 2 weeks after the webinar. So what we do is, for all the people the sales team has talked to who didn't close but who were qualified, they're actually invited by the closer to a VIP Q&A. So the salesperson says, "Hey, I still honestly think you're a great fit and that you can achieve great results with us. That we are actually able to help you. So maybe there are some more high-level answers that I wasn't able to answer." Actually, in 2 weeks, our founder is actually doing a separate group call with some of the people who wanted more information, who wanted some more high-level insights into what we're offering. So if you're interested, I can go ahead and send you the Zoom link, and then they're put in a separate group in the CRM where there's the VIP Q&A call, and they will get an automatic Zoom reminder, because we use Zapier to trigger that when they're moved into the group, so the sales team doesn't have to do it manually. And then they're put into another sequence with the Zoom invites and the reminders, etc. And on that Q&A, people will get, first of all, there's a little bit of value on the first half of the or probably the first 25% of the presentation, and then you just do an extensive Q&A, like 1 to 2 hours, and then you do another pitch to all those people, and you're actually able to convert some more cash from that as well, and to fill up your sales team's calendar 2 weeks after the webinar even happened. Okay, so this is our full framework. Feel free to test it out. Comment below this video how it worked out for you. If you're currently an info product or high ticket consultant to offer and you're doing at least $100,000 in monthly revenue, feel free to go below this video and apply for an audit done by me. I only do this to businesses who qualify to work with us and who are doing at least 6 figures a month, because that's where we can help you and scale further. So feel free to check that out. If you are a business owner, if you are doing less than $100,000 a month, you can just take the value from this channel and try to get there. So you qualify to work with us. But regardless of what you do, I really hope you enjoyed this video and that you got some insight into how a webinar funnel is done the right way. So with that being said, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Peace.